my dog will walk around the prison compound with the helmet on his head. Real deal bicycle helmet on his head, man. Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present. How everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testo with multiple cases before the...
All right, so listen, man, today I got a special guest. This is my dog, Josh, also known, what we call him in the chain gang, as Twitch. And the reason why he got the nickname Twitch in prison is because my dog used to have seizures all the time. I'm talking about he would have so many seizures in the dorm, on his bunk, he wouldn't even remember. Obviously, he'd wake up and he'd have blood on his shirt from biting his tongue, or, you know, his neighbors around him would tell him he just seized out. So he would drop and have so many seizures throughout the prison compound that medical made my dog wear a helmet at all times on the compound. So I know my dog used to hate it, and people used to clown him. But everybody messed with Twitch. Everybody rocked with Twitch, you know what I mean? He was the homie. But we all used to give him a hard time. This is my dog, my brother in Christ, man. Love him to death. And we used to always just clown him, like, man, Josh, man. Because even the police would get on him because he would try to slide throughout the compound with his helmet off. So anyways, man, it's an honor to have you on the podcast today, bro.
Amen.
So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into it, bro.
All right.
So give us an explanation, step-by-step walkthrough of your hold on, first of all, how many times have you been to prison?
2.
You good?
You good?
No, wait. No, that's fine. How many times have you been to prison?
So 2 times.
Okay.
I went back in 2012, beginning of 2012, got out in 2018, and then was out 8 months, violated probation, and went back for another 4 years.
Okay, so how many years was the first bid?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5-year bid, and then what was the second bid?
4-year bid.
4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so a total of 9
9
years?
years, yeah.
All right, so go ahead and walk us through your first day in prison, the very first time. Like, what happened?
Man.
Give us the step-by-step process. How did you feel? All that. Hold that thought.
Okay.
My bad. Did I bring my drink? Yes, right
Am
there.
I still in?
No, keep it going. Don't let us, make sure we're back on center frame. Yeah, stuff like this you can keep filming. Okay. Even with people walking by, let them walk by, because it's super easy to edit and post, you know what I mean? All right, are we in center frame?
All right.
I don't want to be this close to him. No, we're good. Are we in center frame?
We're in center frame.
All right, we good?
All right.
All right, so give us a step-by-step process, man, of the first day in prison, your very first time.
First day, you know, nervous as could be. I guess it was a mixture of nervous and excite, you know, being excited or whatever. But
You were excited going to prison, man?
nah, but just the excitement.
Yeah.
You know, just the unknown, not knowing what to expect. You hear all these crazy stories in jail, and it's like, and you know, when you first go in, you go to Lake Butler. Well, I did anyways, for this region. And you know, you just hear about all the horrible stories about getting off the bus and everything. So fast forward now, first day, just getting off the bus, super nervous, go into the little Sally Port, you know, coming into Lake Butler, and there was a CO named by Country. They called him Big Country. He was, I don't know, 6 something, huge, just a monster, and screams, and just very intimidating dude. And so back in 2012, the prison system was a lot more corrupt than nowadays, because no cameras and everything else. I went in when they had no cameras yet in the prison the facility. So so I get off the bus, and you know, they make us strip down and, you know, line up and do all the squat, cough, you know, turn around, all that. Well, this CO, he likes to tell you to use your trigger fingers to spread, and then he tells you to put the trigger fingers in your mouth.
No.
Yeah. So he likes to
explain to the viewers,
Okay.
though, like, why would you even have to put your fingers in the mouth? Because
So,
they don't
yeah.
understand, like, the whole strip, the strip
right
process.
So when you first come into prison, I think it's a mixture of the making sure that you don't have anything and bring anything in there, but it's also a mixture of intimidation. They're trying to intimidate, they're trying to make you feel lower than low, so that way they have ultimate like rule over you. So I think it's a mixture of both. But so when you first come in, they make you strip completely naked with probably about 50 other dudes, and they go through a whole routine of going through your hair, you know, through your mouth, checking every crevice, whatever, you know, and then you got to turn around, squat, cough, all that. But the guy there, he purposely does the whole turn around, squat, use these fingers, and then he turns around and makes them put in your mouth. So me not knowing what to expect in this, he makes me take off my glasses for one. Now I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. So I'm like the third person in line, and he comes up to me and I'm like this. I'm not using trigger fingers, I'm using my pinkies because I'm trying to be smarter than him, because I don't want to stick my fingers that I just, you know, obviously. So I'm like this, and he's up in front of me like this, and I'm like, and he turns around, wham, slaps me like the hardest I've ever been slapped in my entire life.
Damn.
And so when he did that, I drop to one knee and I get back up and I go right back to doing what I'm doing. Wham, slaps me again. And so I'm still not knowing what I'm doing wrong. So immediately when I stand up, I just look like I'm about to put these fingers back in me, or these pinky finger, and he slapped me the third time and about knocked me out cold. Dropped me, couldn't get up off the ground for a minute. And the whole time it was all about trigger fingers, because then when I stood up, he said, I told you trigger fingers, that, all in my face. And that's just one example. Now, the reason I told that story is because I don't know what prison's like. I'm new, completely new. All I hear, I haven't even been in much trouble at this time of my life. So jail was kind of new to me too. And so I'm not knowing that this is not normal. I'm thinking this is normal. Like, you know what I mean? That's my mind frame now. And so now I'm really like spooked, you know what I'm saying, about the COs, not really the inmates, you know what I mean?
What am I in for? But before we continue, man, let's go ahead and run down to the viewers, man, because I know that you already know we're programmed, we've been institutionalized. We already know the whole process, man, of the being stripped down, man. So when they say, let me see him, you know, put your hands up, you got to show the armpits, front of your hands, back of your hands, boom, you drop your boxers, drop your pants, you got to lift your nuts up, drop your nuts, pull your dick up, drop your dick, turn around, squat and cough. Or depends who you are, because some people, man, they want you to squat and cough like this. Other people, they say bend over, and when they say spread your canteen.
That's what he says. That's what he says. That's what he was saying. It wasn't a squat and cough, it was bend over, spread your canteen maker. So we
just wanted to give y'all a visual, man. That is the very first day in prison. They're trying to break you in. They obviously want to make sure you're not bringing any contraband, any knives, any phones, any dope, whatever. But we just wanted to give y'all a visual of the very first thing they do the very first day, and not even your first day in prison. Whenever you get transferred to other facilities, going into other prisons, they just want to not only do it for security reasons, but they're definitely trying to get into your mental and just go ahead and break you down and let you realize and understand that they run this as their house. They're gonna treat you any type of way, and like Twitch had already mentioned, they're gonna get physical too. You know what I mean? If you get out of any line for what they consider being, you know,
out of line,
unsubordinate to their authority. So keep us going, man.
Right. So after that, you know, it was funny because after that, we get moved to the dorm. I don't say nothing. I leave it alone. Even though he about knocked me out, I leave it alone. I don't say nothing. We go back to the dorm, and it's like going into the dorm and actually going in there, and then I'm in the dorm with like 5 of the guys that were in that line. So of course that was already being like, boy, that boy there got slapped. It sounded like it was a firecracker going on. So that was my first day, just dealing with that and the clowning. And but actually after that, man, you know, you follow into a routine.
How old were you with that first day in prison?
30.
30?
Yeah,
okay,
30.
Right.
Yeah. So my whole 30's pretty much been locked up. So
all right.
Yeah. So 30 was 30. Yeah.
All right. So keep going.
Yeah. So I mean, then it's just like falling into a routine, man. You know, the whole Lake Butler thing, what they don't know is that you got all kinds of, orientations, medical, different things that you have to do there. So it's kind of hard to get settled there. And you have just such a wide range of inmates at that prison. I always said that Florida prison ain't got no structure at all compared to prisons out in California and different places like that. The way they house people and the ways they do things is completely messed up, in my opinion. You shouldn't be, for me personally, shouldn't be housing minimum custody around
with life.
Yeah, with life.
You know what though? We always we used to have conversations with guys from prisons from other states.
Yeah.
And I think that the state of Florida does that intentionally,
right,
to try to cause disunity amongst the inmate population.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember there was a guy named Tex. He was a convict. He'd been in prison forever. He did a whole bunch of time in Texas.
Yeah.
And he had a big bid in Florida. I think he was doing like a 10-piece. So he used to always be like, man, there ain't no unity in Florida, man. Yeah. There ain't no unity amongst the inmates in Florida, man. There ain't no convicts in Florida.
Yeah.
And he used to talk about how in Texas there was so much more unity in the inmate population.
Right.
And he used to say his argument was the reason why he thinks that there's disunity is because, just like you said, a lot of times they mix the housing, even though it's based upon like custody, what your custody level is.
Right.
Your custody is, you could still be in a cell with a lifer and you only got 6 months.
Right.
And the reason why, you know, his argument is because if the lifer and everybody else who got life is like, yo, this riot, the guys who are going home like, man, I ain't finna riot. You know what I mean? I ain't finna get no more time. I'm trying to go home in 6 months or a year from now.
Right.
So that way there's already a dividing gap of stopping riots and mass movement from the inmate population.
Right.
So I think that's probably maybe the
sense.
intention behind that mixed population of sentencing in the Florida Department of Corrections based upon just housing and custody rather than the amount of time, to try to cause that disunity amongst the inmate population.
Right.
So, and I can kind of think that that's true too, you know, so.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that too. I think it's a total mixture of things. I just think for a person like myself, that the minimum custody is just being mixed in. I never had no issues, but the thing is it put me in dangerous situations. You know, I always said, I went to Santa Rosa, my first camp, my second time. And when I got to Santa Rosa is a level 7 psych camp. So when I'm walking into a jungle and I have no reason to be there. You know what I mean? Because I'm a psych 1, minimum custody. And the prime example is they put me in the kitchen dorm, which is housing all high custody inmates. And so the first people that I lived around, one had triple life sentence, one had double life sentence.
And how much time did you have?
I had 4 years.
4 years.
And so the issue that I have with it is, if this guy here wakes up one day, whatever, mom died, dad died, girl broke up with him, whatever, he ain't never going home to see nobody. Then he looks at me sleeping peacefully, and then he may get angry because I am going home to see my family, you know, and that's how people get hurt and get killed and stuff like that.